Module 7, Record Keeping. Firms performing renovations must retain, and if requested, make available to EPA and HUD all records necessary to demonstrate compliance for a period of 3 years following the completion of a renovation. On-the-job records. The certified firm must designate in writing a certified renovator to be responsible for each renovation job in target housing or a child-occupied facility. This is the logical person to organize and maintain on-the-job records during the work. On the job site, the records should be kept in a safe, secure, clean, and dry place. Once the project is complete, some records can be filed with other firm records, while others may need to be moved to the next job site. Records to be maintained to document the job. Copies of the certified renovator's initial and most recent refresher course, non-certified workers training documentation, designation of a certified renovator on the job, information on and results of use of EPA recognized test kits and paint chip samples by a certified renovator who acted as the representative of the certified firm at the job site and who conducted testing for the presence of lead-based paint on surfaces to be affected by the renovation. Lead-safe paint inspection reports provided by a certified lead inspector or certified lead risk assessor, if applicable. Proof of owner-occupant pre-renovation education. Any other signed and dated documents from the owner and or residents regarding conduct of the renovation and requirements in the EPA RRP rule. All records required from the certified firm and the certified renovator by the EPA RRP rule. Record keeping, pre-renovation education records. In target housing, individual units, for example, single-family homes, you must acquire either written proof of receipt by an adult occupant or proof of delivery or unsuccessful delivery of Renovate Right, or written proof of receipt of Renovate Right by owner or proof of mailing. If you mail it, it has to be sent certified with a minimum of 7 days prior starting a renovation, but no more than 60 days. In target housing, common areas, you have two options. Provide written notification to each affected unit and make Renovate Right pamphlet available on request, or keep copies or pictures of the signs and notices posted, which provide the information of when you start the project, what you're doing during the project time, and where the pamphlet is available if they want to receive a free copy. In child-occupied facilities, written proof of receipt of Renovate Right by owner or proof of mailing, and if you're mailing, again, more than 7 days prior by certified mail with the return receipt. Maintain proof of receipt by owner or adult representative, or certify in writing that the Renovate Right pamphlet has been delivered to facility. Keep copies or pictures of the signs and notices posted. Sample confirmation of receipt of Renovate Right. As you can see here on the slide, you can check off, I have received a copy of the pamphlet, Renovate Right, important lead hazard information for families, child care providers, and schools. The recipient signs, print their name, and their date. Below that, you have self-certification option for tenant-occupied dwelling only. If the lead pamphlet was delivered to a tenant but a tenant signature was not obtained, you may check the appropriate box. They refuse to sign. That could be possible depending on the tenant-owner relationship. Unavailable for signature, if the individual is not available. Gather the following information: printed name and signature of person certifying the lead pamphlet delivery, date and time of lead pamphlet delivery, and unit address. Make sure to keep these records for a minimum of 3 years. Record keeping, non-certified worker training. The certified renovator who conducted the non-certified worker training must document the information taught to and skill set proficiencies achieved each individual trainee. This training can be conducted in a classroom setting with simulator hands-on or on the job. Documentation may vary for each trainee, as not all trainees may be assigned to conduct all lead-based work practices, and the training is only required to be task-specific. To simplify this documentation, your training manual includes a form that can be adopted for conducting hands-on or in topical training for non-certified workers. Make sure to keep these records for a minimum of 3 years. As a reminder, non-certified workers can be trained on job-specific tasks. Record keeping, test kit reporting. Checking for lead-based paint with an EPA recognized test kit. Check www.epa.gov for a list of EPA recognized test kits. Each component to be renovated or impacted by renovation must be tested. If all surfaces are found to be free of lead-based paint, the RRP rule does not apply. If a set of affected components make up an integrated whole, such as a stair thread or riser within a single staircase, or a window casing, apron, stool, header, or throw in a window case system, then only one of the individual components from that set needs to be tested. EPA recognized test kits. Presently, EPA is only requiring the use of test kits that determine that the lead-based paint is not present on the surfaces tested. Refer to the test kit instructions to determine if lead is absent. If lead is not determined to be absent using the test kit, the surface must be presumed to be coated with a lead-based paint. A negative test result will mean that the lead-based work practices are not required. Alternatively, a certified renovator may collect a paint chip sample, or sampling may be performed by a certified lead inspector or risk assessor to determine whether or not lead-based paint is present. If test kits are used, certified renovators must use EPA recognized test kit in order to test affected surfaces. EPA recognized test kits will be listed on the EPA website at www.epa.gov/lead. Reporting. When the test kits are used, within 30 days of completing a renovation, the certified renovation firm must provide information on test kit manufacturers and models used for testing, a description of components tested, including locations and the results of testing, to the client who contracted for the renovation. Retain a copy of the test kit documentation form for a minimum of 3 years. Record keeping, paint chip sample results reporting. Certified renovators may collect paint chip samples from components to be affected by renovation instead of using test kits to test the paint. The samples must be sent to an entity recognized by the National Lead Laboratory Accreditation Program, NLLAP, for analysis. Prepare reports for clients and maintain records similar to that detailed for the test kit results. Submit a report within 30 days to the person contracting for the work, detail location sampled, dimensions, and associated results. Retain copies of the laboratory results and the client report for 3 years. Record keeping, post-renovation reporting. Following a renovation, firms must document and share the following information: documentation of project information, compliance with renovation training, certification, and work practice requirements. This can be accomplished by completing the sample form titled Sample Renovation Record Keeping Checklist, or a similar form. The project information documentation must also be distributed when the final invoice is delivered or within 30 days of the completion, whichever is earlier, to the following: the owner of the building, and if different, an adult occupant or adult representative of the child-occupied facility. If dust clearance sampling is performed, the firm must provide, when the final invoice for the renovation is delivered or within 30 days, whichever is earlier, a copy of the dust sampling report to the owner of the building, and if different, an adult occupant or an adult representative of a child-occupied facility. Note: when work is done in common areas of multi-unit housing, firms must post project information and dust sampling reports on how interested occupants of the housing being renovated can obtain a copy of the report. This information must be posted in areas where they are likely to be seen by all affected occupants. Make sure to review the renovation record-keeping checklist and find a way to add these to all your projects. Now you know. To have records available at the worksite of certifications of the certified firm and the certified renovator. That is the minimum that you are required to have on a worksite. Now you know to retain all records for at least 3 years after completion of the renovation. Now you know to keep records of training and certifications for all renovation personnel and the certification of the firm, distribution of required information, communications with and certifications from owners and residents, work activities in compliance to the rule, and post-renovation reports.